And we're live, guys. How goes it, everybody?
What's up, everyone? Hello.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for
Hello.
joining us, Brooke.
Yeah, glad to have you. What's up?
Glad to be here. I'm a little exhausted, but
It,
let's get to it.
your background looks like It's Always Sunny. You're trying to figure out who Pepe Sylvia or like Satoshi is. Like, there is no Pepe Sylvia. Like, with the map in the background.
Oh, right. He's got all the strings attached everywhere.
Yeah.
Nice.
Is
I
that,
like that picture. It's
That's
just a
funny.
painting of it, you know what? It's just the color scheme. That's why I like.
It looks good.
It's
It is a
nice.
great visual background, but it just makes me think, like, it made me think of that scene in It's Always Sunny because that's how I felt when I kind of stumbled, tripped, and fell into runes. And then, the pre-sale
yeah.
runes and everything. I was just trying to put together who's going to be at the end of this pyramid scheme.
Right.
Who's the guy that's
Right.
holding the rug with this stuff? This is
Never
crazy.
know.
I guess if,
There's some options, but
if you want to throw out like a little bit about yourself, let the audience know, and then we can just jump straight into
Yeah.
like some ordinals, runes, and Bitcoin shenanigans.
yeah. I have a pretty long drawn out background. I'm old. But really I've been in tech since the 90s and was very much a part of like the crypto, the cypherpunk era where that's just how we thought about things. 2008 really blew up a lot of our family's lives. So crypto came along and we were mining in 2011 to drop ship drugs on Silk Road, and it was a great business. And then the FBI seized it all. So ever since then, it's just kind of I've kind of gone in and out of PTSD and just holding Bitcoin. Never really was a trader because that, of course, after Silk Road, we had somebody trade a bunch of our Bitcoin to zero, and then we lost some in Mt. Gox, and so then it was just all right, we're done, And then I've started and exited a few technical tech companies. That's right. That's what I meant to say.
Put that in your
Tech
LinkedIn
companies.
bio.
You got what?
I said put that in your LinkedIn bio.
Yes, I
Technical
started
tech
some
companies.
technical tech companies. That's a technicality.
Fucking A. Drink,
And then
everybody.
Very good.
Shots.
just and I've just been consulting for quite a while. I was doing a lot of very boring nonprofit consulting, and then I started on TikTok in 2020 and amassed this 300,000 follower TikTok account, just being funny and teaching about crypto and
Oh, that's so cool.
technology. Yeah, so then it kind of just bled into this kind of global presence, and so I started consulting for some bigger companies, and then
Dude, that is awesome.
when the NFT stuff came around, there was a lot of us that knew about it. I knew about the crypto kitties and crypto punks, but it just wasn't my thing. I was like, this is dumb. What is this? This is stupid. So, and I don't really ever look back and go, oh, I could have had this. Yeah, we had 1,100 Bitcoin. We could have been billionaires. But if we knew at the time, why would we be, not hoarding it?
Why would you have
ourselves? So
stopped at just
I-
that many, right? You need more.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. If anybody tells you they were mining Bitcoin in 2011 for generational wealth, they're fucking lying to you. They're lying.
Yeah.
That
was
and
not
they're
happening.
probably poor.
Right. Because we did have
all the
some
OGs
ancient-
are all the real OGs are poor, bro. I've
Yes, they
I've
are.
come to realize that if you're an OG and you're not poor, there's something more to the story, and I want to know it.
Yep. I feel
You
that.
probably found a hard drive in your mom's basement 2 years ago, and you're like, oh, I now have 100 Bitcoin, and
Yup.
I'm gonna probably run that down to zero once I cash it in. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're absolutely right.
Inheritance
So
2.0.
I'm just a yeah. I'm just a technologist through and through. Technology is right now I'm sitting, with 4 computers. I built a couple of nodes, and I just been obsessed with computers since I was 14. So that's pretty much just what I'm about. And I love social media and content creation because I feel like we're all just knowledge brokering. And that to me is like, that's the future. That's always been the future, but we've had to like really break down the societal norms and like, you know, mainstream media, whatever you want to call it. But like, this is how we educate each other. And so it's really important, regardless of whether you're doing it for a job or, you know, you have a big, huge platform. It's our responsibility to educate each other on everything that we know and not just like wait for somebody else to teach us or brainwash us.
Dude, that's why I'm happy you mentioned
So,
TikTok
yeah.
and you kind of took off over there and used it to, you know, as like a platform for crypto education. Because I'll be honest, like the very first day TikTok came out, I was there. I downloaded the app. I seem to be a
Musically?
day oneer. Yeah, exactly. Well, I was using Musically, then they switched. I had to get a new login and everything. But then when they were TikTok,
yeah.
the rules I thought
Musically.
were going to be different. So I started.
Right.
I made one video of me like smoking a bong, and then I've been banned on TikTok since the day it was TikTok. I can't even watch videos because you have to log into TikTok to watch TikTok.
Right.
I cannot do
Yeah.
it. So
That's hilarious.
isn't it though, right? So I
That's
have never
hilarious.
ever been on TikTok because day one I got kicked off TikTok.
Can't you just get a different phone? Like, I guess it's like not that big a deal. Like,
Well,
you're not
that and I just
bothered
yeah,
by it, but
exactly.
still.
Yeah, and it's like
Still.
I don't want to make it, and I think I did try to use a different email, and it was like I know your IP address, and I'm like, okay, Skynet.
It's like, it knew you.
I think I
It
did
probably
try.
did.
Yeah.
It probably like took a picture of your face, like, you know, scanned your face, and it's like, no, that guy is banned for life. I would not put it past them to have that kind of technology.
Dude, no, me neither.
Yeah,
You know what? It's
wild.
kind of like probably a silver lining savings because, you know, apps like that on your phone, you never know if they're key logging or anything like that. And those are the apps that
Totally.
are banned on like
Totally.
politicians' phones and like government phones. You know, you can't even be like a government
And
employee
then,
with like
yeah,
TikTok in
military.
your house. Like nobody in your house can have the
Right.
app on their phone.
right.
So there's probably
It's
something
wild.
keeping me
It's
safe from
absolutely
something.
wild.
But yeah, I love that you got that, you know,
Definitely.
that foot in the door through that, and you didn't like capitalize on it in the influencer direction. You know, you got the consultation, the consulting gigs out of it and stuff. But
I think I'm just too old for that. Like somebody has said that about me, and I like back then, and I'm like, that's fine. But I think it's just different when you're not like doing dances and you know, influencing is such a weird word, or influencer, because like you are influencing.
yeah, but don't you want like
So,
free
like,
arthritis
it's a
cream?
good
Like there's
word, but-
different things we can influence as we get older. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
I'm hitting up Ben Gay
I think
as
it
soon
was-
as I
it was
turn
just
40.
educational.
Ben Gay will sponsor this podcast in my 40s.
Perfect. Well, I'm way past that, so maybe I should
What?
get some of that.
Oh, okay. Well, you look great.
I will be-
You say you're way past
I will be 48 years old in
Oh,
2
shit.
weeks.
Well, you rock your age
Yeah.
well, bro.
Thank you. That does not get old.
You don't look a block over halvening.
Wow, that's cute. Somebody said something in a space the other day, like, because he got like, you know, kind of garbled, and they're like, "You are stuck in the mempool," and I was like, "It's hilarious."
That is a good
I'm gonna
one.
say that. I'm gonna say that.
Oh my gosh.
I wanted to jump into Notary nodes. You mentioned them. You know, you
Notary.
like to build things. I know. I tried to dude. The punny was there, and I tried. You know, it was.
Good. I liked it.
But
And then
even-
you caught yourself. You're like,
Yeah.
"What that?"
It's like a crypto dad joke. So it's like Craig Wright cringe. You know.
Oh my God, Craig Wright cringe. That's a
That's
good
a
one.
flavor
Yeah,
of Ben
what-
and Jerry's waiting. Baskin and Robbins, that's going to be their
Oh my
40th
gosh.
flavor. Craig Wright
Yeah.
cringe. It's
What's it gonna
taste
it's,
like?
it's
What would be in
salty,
that?
it's sweet. It's got a hint of something you just can't figure out what it is, and the judge
What
isn't
color
going
is
to
it?
tell you if you're right or wrong about it either.
What color is it?
It's like that dress in Facebook. Is it like white and gold, or is
Is
it
it
blue
white
and
or
brown?
blue?
Yeah,
Gold or blue?
that's going to be the
Yeah.
color of the ice cream. It's going to be a debate.
that almost
Everything
cause
The
about
ice
it.
cream is
Civil
going
War.
to tell you. The ice cream's going to tell you that it's vanilla, but actually it's chocolate. But the ice cream is like, I'm vanilla. Like, I
And this
don't know
whole
what you're
time, it
talking about.
identifies as sherbet.
Take me to court.
But okay, so to get on track, you know, you're
Yeah,
more hands-on techie. I'm an end user. I got Casa nodes and all these little like Jupiter like Bitcoin mining things,
Yeah.
and it's so
Totally.
plug and play. But every
Yeah.
day I'm on Twitter, I see people making memes out of how difficult it has been to set up their nodes. I'm just curious, like, since you've been in this space a while, do you see this difficulty increasing exponentially?
Yes.
Fuck.
So that's something I was saying the other day is like, there's so many different layers to technology, but really it's all electricity. I get that far into it because the other day I spoke for like 2 hours on like how computers work. That isn't going to be interesting. But the point is, everything just starts as electricity, and then things are built on top of that. So there's this very complicated layers. There's machine code, and then as the years go by, you have encapsulation about over these things, right? Like, so before, we had to write in like machine code and binary code, and then Windows came along and encapsulated that so that you didn't have to do that as the end user. And then other things came about as the end user, because everything needs to be easier to use. Of course, you
God
don't need
bless
to know how the
AOL.
combustion engine works to drive the car. You're right. Like internet, right? I just downloaded Bitcoin Core in 4 hours with this new machine or whatever. So it's like, that's crazy that it goes so fast. But yes, it's very difficult. So this particular thing that people are being told, like, download this and all you have to do is like plug this in and run a node, and it's like, that's actually not true. Like, wait. So like, I love those RWA things too, or whatever they're called. Like, I have helium miners, and I've been like mining grass on the the grass extension. So like, those are all just plug and play. But this thing that they're telling people to do so that they can etch runes, and then of course mine them or mint them, just too many words, is very complicated. You have to you're like, instructing things from the command line. You are speaking straight to the blockchain that way. It's like minting from an ETH smart contract, like straight from the contract. But it's different because people aren't used to like Bitcoin Core and how this all works. So it was like, first of all, we need to explain to people what this even is. Nobody's explaining to anybody, like, what is this? So they're just like, oh, I just download this thing and all of a sudden I'm a miner. Like, no. Like, honestly, people were getting confused about ASIC miners and full nodes. And like, that was the first part, is like, nobody gave a shit about hard drives until 2 weeks ago. And now everybody's like, Brooke, what's this? What's this? What's this? And it's like, well, do you care, or do you just care about making money? Because everybody's like selling you this story of just download a node and you're going to make generational wealth. Like, no. So yes, this is complicated. You have to download Visual Studio. If you've never coded before, how do you know like what Rust is? So you've got all these different things that you have to download, and everyone's like, just follow this guide. It's no problem. I followed the guide on both the MacBook and the PC, and they're complicated. So, I mean, good on ya if you're going to do this. I have people calling me yesterday. A friend called me crying because she couldn't get it figured out. And I'm like, and in the end, is it really going to do anything? Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
So,
you're probably going to get front run.
So what would you say like the big incentive is for people? Obviously, for some people it's making some money, but like what would be like your true incentive for running nodes? Like when people are like, why should I run a node? Or
like before runes?
Yeah, I guess so. The conversation's changing.
Like what do you mean? Like the incentive now, or why would you build a node in the first place? Like before this?
I guess just in general, like in the first place. Like before.
So running a full node is simply your computer becomes a validator. So like, software can't run without hardware, and the blockchain in its purest form is a computer, but to be decentralized, it has to be running off of all the different computers in the world. That's how it works, is that all those computers are a node that connects like peer to peer. That's how it stays decentralized. And so like, it's utilizing the hardware resources of all these computers, and now all of these people, these degens that have downloaded the Bitcoin Core software. So Bitcoin Core software literally just indexes all of the entire blockchain. So you're downloading the entire blockchain to your computer, and then you become a validator. And the incentive is literally that you are adding to the Bitcoin ecosystem. It makes you zero money. People, that's what I mean. Like, people didn't understand. They're like, don't we get a reward for mining blocks? Like, no, that's not what this is. We are running a node to just validate. The miners decide which transactions to confirm, and then the validators confirm that they are confirming them.
Yes, but how are runes game theory?
The checkers check them.
Like you said, it's a whole different conversation now. But like the runes game theory of this node situation, it is a 1980s guerrilla marketing ploy being issued in the year 2024. It's like a Black Mirror episode I just woke up in.
Bro, exactly. That's exactly. I was like, what is this? You know, like, what is happening? It's Black Mirror. Like, there's these people that are like, because this is written by a dude. This isn't decentralized. Like, one guy wrote this shit, and then everybody like pulls from it and is like, we're gonna do all this stuff, and it's like, that's written by one dude. Like, and he's gonna update the org core or the org client probably like right before the halving, and maybe even like an hour after. It's just gonna be like, man, I'm gonna sit back and be like, this is actually hilarious. But now, in order to sort of get away from having to rely on third parties like Magic Eden, whatever, to get their shit together, because none of them have any of this ready to go because it hasn't been launched yet.
Right.
Like, the protocol has not been launched yet. So the whole idea of like what's been told is like, download the node, software, or the Bitcoin Core software, the org client, so that you can actually communicate between those things, and then you can actually etch the rune like not before, but yeah, I guess it's early, before having to depend on these third-party pieces of software, like websites, right? It's just like having a minting website, when really what's happening is you're minting an NFT off the smart contract, but it's the user friendliness of it. So in order to not have to use and like wait for those software, websites to get their act together and like understand the stuff going on, you can just do it yourself. That's it. But it's harder. And then not only that, but they're like so many people, I kept seeing this on the timeline where they're like, go get an SSD. And I hope all of your viewers can see me using air quotes, because I'm like, wait, what? Like, are you saying an external hard drive? Because that's what that is. You're giving them or you're telling them to get an external hard drive that it just happens to be solid state, which is just faster, because it gets faster as we go, right? I have like this pile of hard drives here.
Oh yeah,
I even have like an 8-inch floppy disk. I really should get them and show your viewers, but like, I even have an 8-inch like old school floppy disk. Like, hard drives get better and faster over time, right? So they're telling people like, get this external hard drive so that you can download it to that, so that if you don't have enough space on your computer, actually I don't even think they were saying that. And so I come along like, what? Like, this is not right, because downloading it to an external hard drive is way more complicated than just downloading it to your computer. And if you don't have a computer in 2024 that has a big enough hard drive for this, what are you doing? Like, I don't think you're going to make it.
Playing solitaire.
Playing solitaire and trying to mine Bitcoin with this node.
Minesweep. Playing Minesweep. Do you have Bitcoin on a floppy disk?
Like a real like floppy disk.
That was actually really funny.
Can we do that? Can we put Bitcoin on a floppy disk?
I feel like if
please?
you duct tape it to a wall, you could sell it at Christie's.
There you go.
It's culturally impactful. They'll
the one I have like has written on it. It says Microsoft Works working copy. I really need to go and grab it. It's so funny. I don't even know where I got it.
You know what scares me? We're gonna get to this like point in which I don't know the feasibility of downloading the blockchain. Like, having that ability is going to be, there's going to be this like Moore's Law moment where we're gonna be at a paradoxical point. And I, like you said, like, Is the like, are we going to even have hard drives that can handle this? I feel like Nvidia is already running at full steam, just trying to keep up with half of this space. Who's going to fill in this void when it's like, I mean,
I don't know. Like I see what you're saying. There are, I don't know. Like you really only need
we're at 1%
500
mass
gigabytes of
adoption.
space.
We get global mass adoption. This is, 10,000 Xing overnight.
That is true. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like it would just like blow the lid off. But I also feel like that's what the halving is keeping it from, being inflationary. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know everything. I just know hardware. And I think it was really like we did a disservice to all these degens saying like all you have to do is go to Best Buy and spend $150 on an SSD. And I'm like, you're not even saying the right words.
I feel that.
It just drove me crazy.
I love that you get annoyed by the verbiage because it's me too. When I hear somebody call their their meme token a meme coin, I want to be the old guy in the room that's like, get off that. That's not how you use words. It's a token, not a coin.
Of my lawn.
Yeah, dude.
Right.
Yeah, words matter, and I feel like we really do need to come up with
do.
some new words that can define this, so we can use it in conversations that we don't need too much context to finish the conversation, because everything it's all contextual based conversation in crypto. You have to like relate it to this. It's everything's analogies and parodies and parables.
We need a DAO for this.
But it's simple. Yeah. There's a like, a way that I used to explain sort of tokenization to people where it's literally just like bus tokens. Like it used to be you would literally pay with coins, with quarters and dimes and nickels, and then it turned into these tokens that were only for buses. Like coins you can spend anywhere, but going onto the bus, you had a bus token, and it was just worth what it was worth. And that's it. That's all it is. Like it's just tokenization of money, of like currency. It's not hard. But people, I agree. Like get your acts together, youngins.
It's making me definitely feel my age in crypto, because this whole conversation, the entire narrative, somebody asked me last night, like, what's up with this like ordinals and rune stuff? And I was like, bro, I got like 48 hours worth of information. I don't know anything more than 2 days. I haven't slept. Look at my fucking eyes, Brooke. I have not slept yet since last night. Like all day I've been.
Don't do that,
bro. I'm telling color coins, bro. People are going to have to go back and learn. They're going to have to go into the history of this shit and do some respect. Like, they're going to have to respect Bitcoin. But I really feel like that's going to be the power that runes and ordinals has, is it's going to force all this shitcoinery and degenerate behavior to go back to school, learn a little bit about Bitcoin, respect the process that color coins went through, the inspiration for ERC 720s or ERC 20s, ERC 721s, 1155s, and then the inspiration for alt chains and every other NFTs that now exist. It's like it's going back to the color coins vibe. And if it wasn't for color coins, I wouldn't have gotten into Bitcoin. The just the concept of color coins, I was in. I was like, that's Charizard. You can put Charizard on a dollar bill. You can put Charizard on money. I could make this dollar bill a fucking Charizard Pokemon card. I was going nuts with color coins.
Totally. Counterparty made like just everything changed. And I think that when there's those two camps of like, I really love the technology. I love that people are like learning about it. But then on the other hand, I'm like kind of furious that like, wait, it took this kind of degen bullshit for you guys to like actually care about how your computers work. Like that, I mean, like, I'm like battling that in my head, but it's the same thing as like, go and learn your history.
Yep.
Whenever I say like 2008 happened, and people are like, "What do you mean 2008 happened?" And I'm like, "Oh, what? What?"
But see, that's the reality we live in.
What crisis? There was a crisis. I was watching Friends.
Right.
I was watching Friends. The season finale was like huge back then. Oh yeah, they were fucking. Oh my god. God, you're right.
That's the current state of our reality, though.
Right.
I mean. Especially, I mean, you have to have things like that to get people interested in stuff like that now, especially when it comes to technology and like technical stuff, things that may kind of seem a little bit boring and uninteresting, which is why I'm a big fan of like using games and game projects in Web3, and the way of gamifying and they use the gamification
Mm.
to kind of, use that as a starting point and then take those methods and apply them to other projects that may not seem so very interesting and gamify them in a sense to where,
Yeah, that could be
you
like
can build
Rune's
some
guerrilla
interest by
marketing plan,
incentivizing
bro.
them.
You know what I mean? That could be like that's what Runes is. It's the game to learn more about Bitcoin.
Right.
Yeah, totally, totally.
Yeah, and
And
that
it's
seems
turned
to
into
really
a
work.
grift.
Yep. You just got to get them interested in playing little fun games and getting little prizes, and there you go. You learn something.
I mean, the prizes are always just money. Like
Yeah.
people just want number to go up. Like
Yeah.
there's very few.
I want
that are
number
really
to be
here.
irrelevant, man.
you know?
Like that's like
Right.
really
Right.
like the whole thing. Like why I got into big. Like it was very anarchist of me. Like I don't really have a
For
side
sure.
at that table. But if I
Yeah.
had to pick one to sit down and eat, or I'd starve to death, probably be with the anarchists. And when I
Me
got
too.
into like the
Yeah.
whole end the Fed conversation within Bitcoin, not just like I didn't never looked at money before Bitcoin, but inside the Bitcoin,
Right.
I looked at the end the Fed vibe and all of that, and I was just like, okay, like we're
This is
going to
me.
make money pointless. Like technology has now surpassed ideology, meaning this tech
Yes.
made your ideas obsolete. Like you can in God we trust your money all you want, but the belief system is obsolete because
Right.
the technology leapfrogged
Right.
its concept. Its ideology is washed.
Exactly.
That's why I love meme coins. We're literally making funny money, like money funny.
Yeah.
Make it a joke. Make it so
Exactly.
memey that the concept in 100 years is going to be like, yo, do you believe they used money? Like, yo, do you money?
Right.
Money? You
Money is
believe
a
they
joke.
did that?
It's insane.
And they believed in God. They put it on their currency. Like, how weird are these people back then? We're cavemen with Lamborghinis. We have no respect for the shit we have at our disposal right now. Like, cavemen right now driving a Lamborghini. No clue how to respect this thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so funny.
Exactly.
I guess I wanted to mention, like,
Yeah.
if you wanted to differentiate a little bit from, like, ordinals and runes, because I just fell into this whole, like,
That's
Bitcoin
not much
going shitcoin.
difference.
Okay.
I'm sure all of your listeners are going to be like, what is this crazy lady talking about? But like, really, do people really care what the difference
Right.
is, honestly?
I do.
Do
I
you
want to talk
really-
to Andreas
Not you.
Antonopoulos.
Ken cares.
But like, no, I know.
Yeah,
like,
but she's right. No,
I'm
like,
happy to know
genuinely,
that.
nobody
Like,
cares.
Nobody cares. It's
Yeah.
literally just, this piece
Yeah.
of space on, like, when the Taproot upgrade happened to Bitcoin, it provided this like space, this like notation area that you could like put more stuff in there, like data, like picture files. That's why they had to be so small, because there was just this little like amount of space. And then on top of that was the BRC-20, which became a problem because of these junk UTXOs. And so it was very clunky and hard to do. Let's just say that. It was hard to do. And so like really the way of creating these things, whether they're non-fungible or fungible, is the same. It's indexing through and like, putting this stuff onto each sat to make them, unique. And somebody was saying the other day, like, I found a rare sat, and I said, let's take a minute to walk this back and think about this. Nobody cares about a rare sat until we said that it was valuable. Like, this is what consensus value like looks like. Nobody gives a shit about a Satoshi, like the small bit of, the 100 millionth of Bitcoin. Like, no one cares about how rare they are until we said they were. So then Casey Rodemore, who was the one who like wrote all the code for the Ord client and all of this, again, it's a person. It's not a decentralized like group of people like the Bitcoin Core
Oh, but
programmers.
Ethereum's doing fine, and they have Vitalik. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Everything's fine. And he came up with this new, like, this solution to the problem, which is runes. Actually, they're actually called rune stones. So the like ordinal, there's a lot of confusion.
Yeah,
And
because
it's
there's
the
like
words,
a
right?
pre-sale runes called Runestone, and it's like number 2
Oh.
right now in market cap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
means nothing. It's nothing. It's Fugazi. It's not even the protocol's not even
Fugazi.
launched yet.
Well,
That should
It's
be the name of the. That
nothing.
should be the name of the protocol. Fugazi.
I'm gonna make Fugazi
Oh.
token.
That's a
Oh my
that is a
God.
that's a fucking meme I will definitely get behind. Somebody
I'm gonna
listening might
add
beat
that.
us to it, but somebody, one of
Well,
us,
you
we need to do
better not.
Fugazi token.
Or we're gonna be in karate combat.
Yeah, because
How many letters is that?
I feel like scam has
5.
lost its muchness. We threw it around so much. It's like you have to yell
6.
fire, in certain social situations and emergencies because other words don't get people's attention anymore. So they teach you to yell
Yeah.
fire instead of what's really happening. Yeah, crypto, I feel like Fugazi could replace scam because scam doesn't hit
Yeah.
anymore.
Fugazi,
For
the ticker
sure.
would be F.
I mean, fuck, Bitcoin's
G-
still a scam, isn't it? Like scam don't hit
Bitcoin's
right.
the first scam.
Yeah, the first scam.
FGZ. All right, I'm gonna.
It's
post
7
that on
letters, so that's the
Fugazi.
other thing. There's all this complicated rules with it. So you're not gonna etch, which that's the word now. It's not inscribe, it's etching. And that's what you can do with your node to be able to do it from the command line.
Okay.
And the first one at 840,000 block, those only have 13 characters, 13 to 26 characters. So you can't just automatically get Pepe or Doge. That's not how it works. It's 13 characters, and then I don't know if it's like 4 months from now, then it's 12 characters, and another 4 months, it's 11 characters. And so that's how it's gonna, push it out. And there's a lot of this that I'm not an expert in any of this. I'm an expert at the computer stuff. That's it. So I've learned a lot of this stuff because last year I built a rig thinking I was going to inscribe, and then I fudded it, and so here I am without the inscription.
I think you
node,
might
but-
get this concept. I've always talked about Bitcoin not being, fungible. 1 Bitcoin doesn't equal 1 Bitcoin, and I learned this in 2016. And I think I was on the Adam Meister show in 2017, and me and him argued about this all the time. Because it's very, obviously everything's opinion, but in my perspective, Bitcoin has never been fungible because my first introduction to it was blacklisted Bitcoin. And do not accept blacklisted Bitcoin to this address or it will freeze your account type shit. And I'm like, wait,
Right.
so how's 1 Bitcoin equal 1 Bitcoin if this Bitcoin isn't the same value as that one because that one's blacklisted? That's
Right.
not how fungibility works, guys. That's not even censorship
Exactly.
resistant. That's not even decentralized. That's not any of these
Right.
bells and whistles words that I read getting into Bitcoin. This is back to fiat.
Right.
It felt very Visa. And I was just like, dude, yeah. And then I
Totally.
went deeper into it when I first kind of heard about ordinals because I took a 2-year hiatus in Bitcoin, 2022, 2023. I was 100% tapped out, didn't even touch Twitter. You can check it, no tweets. I wasn't here. I still keep calling it Twitter because I wasn't here for the fucking name change.
Everybody
I'm
keeps
catching
calling
up
it
for that.
Twitter.
But I tapped out. But I always was talking about if I could find one of the Satoshis with Satoshi's message in it from 2010 with the newspaper article in it, that one Satoshi would be more valuable to me than 1 whole Bitcoin. 1 whole Bitcoin, I wouldn't give
Yeah.
up that 1 Satoshi for it. And this is in
Same.
2017. I was adamantly talking about how Bitcoin isn't inherently fungible because it is too open. You have so much information about each line of code that builds this coin that there's no way that 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin. And the metadata
Right.
says it right there. The ones and zeros
Yeah.
aren't the same.
You're
Right,
gonna make all the
exactly.
maxis mad. They're
I
gonna be
did.
mad
I
max.
know I
Maxis
did.
are always mad.
They're gonna
Yeah.
be mad maxis.
Mad Maxes.
Someone in
God,
the
that's
chat
a
said
good
that there is a-
movie. Mad Max with all the Bitcoin maximalists just living in a
Yes.
shitcoin
Oh my
world.
God.
You have
Someone in the-
I would
fucking
not watch that.
Dorian Nakamoto duct taped to the
Mad
front of a
Maxes.
car, just
Someone in the chat said that there is a Fugazi token on Pulse Chain.
Of
Respect.
course
I
there
told-
is.
I'm gonna launch it on Solana. I don't
yeah,
care.
we only fuck with Solana over here. It's the new Bitcoin.
Well,
You haven't
let's
heard?
make a 13 character rune from
Okay.
Fugazi. So how many more characters do we need?
I think it's enough to do it forwards and backwards.
7? No, 6. I can't add. So Fuga. Oh yeah, you could do it. Fugazi. No.
No,
that's
but
dumb.
you spell it the right way, then you spell it backwards, and that way it looks like there's a mirror sitting right in the middle of the word, like it's a reflection on like a lake.
So it'd be Fugazi
that.
Azaguf.
Yeah,
Let's do
exactly.
it.
Yeah. See.
We were thinking that, like, okay, so these pre-runes, and again, for all your many, many listeners, I am not an expert. Like, this shit just came out. Like, I only know how to process fast. That's the only reason I know any of this.
I still feel like we're a month late.
Oh, totally.
Jesus Christ, bro.
Oh my God, totally. If you look back at some of the tweets from just like 3 weeks ago from the people who are like experts,
right
they're
over
like,
my head.
so what is this exactly? And now they're like, holding spaces for 12 hours a day, and you're like, what now?
They're getting paid to teach.
I mean, who knows? I don't know, but like. Yeah, I don't even know what I was saying.
We're talking about the ICOs and pre-runes, and I guess I did have the question out. Yeah, let's talk about it.
So they're like, oh, we're gonna airdrop all this stuff, and I'm like, are you gonna do that? Because this isn't even a thing yet. It has, not just that it's not a thing, right? Like I can say I'm gonna airdrop you the new Fugazi token on Solana, right? Well, tokens on Solana already exist. It's just not that particular one. I haven't like done the code and like launched the Fugazi token. But the token protocol, the way that SPL works, is already a thing. This is not that. So you can't just say to people, we're just going to just send them money here and buy one of these, and then we're going to do A, B, or
C. So
Schrodinger
didn't even put the cat in the box yet.
Correct.
Oh, fuck.
I like you, Ken.
Damn.
Right. It's not even in the box yet. Like, nobody's even observing the box right now. Well, maybe that's
so does
not
that mean
true.
the box
like,
doesn't
the code
exist?
is written. The box, I think the box exists because he wrote the org client. He's written this rune. Like, that is, I think, the box. But, like, I think we're all the cat, and nothing's been... I don't even know what I'm saying.
No, I get it. I try to use the analogy as often as I can in relatable options because, when it comes to crypto, to me, Bitcoin was always that by definition. When I looked at Bitcoin, the code layer of it and the FATA, it's Schrodinger's, equation right there. It could be 100 years from now, 1,000 years from now, but Bitcoin is that experiment in real time being played out. That is the only way to explain Bitcoin, because it is the inevitable scam, the inevitable rug pull, because quantum computing is inevitable. There's so much going towards it, and I think Bitcoin is the honeypot at the end of that succession. When you can reach quantum computing, all this is all yours, bro. You earned it. You just took everything from us in crypto. But luckily now money is obsolete. Monetary value is obsolete.
Right.
None of it matters, and we're all using Star Trek machines to 3D print food. Like, that's... Bitcoin could be the incentive why companies like Google are fighting to be the first to reach quantum computing, because they know they're going to be the one with the stick that breaks the piñata open and gets all the Bitcoin.
Totally. I totally agree. There's so many things like that people don't realize is on the horizon. Like, it's right here. I'm a big like EAC, like effective accelerationist. I subscribe to that 1,000% because like I have this like doomer mentality of, AI is going to take over and like, all these robots and da-da-da. And I'm like, that's one of the most ignorant things you can possibly think or say, because it's coming. Whether you like it or not, like, that's what's happening. Like, there's robots coming. There's all these different things coming. It's you put yourself into the mindset of like, this is okay. Like, everyone's going to be okay. Like, of course, we're going to still be in control of these things. But like, also, let's all pool together our, knowledge brokering, right? Instead of like being afraid of everything, we need to lean into things and teach each other. And then all of a sudden we've got quantum computing and like, everything that, there's no more labor in the world because machines do it all.
Got
So
it
we all
done.
just get to sit back and be like, you know what? I'll have coffee, sir. And then like everything just happens for us because we have robots. How did
Yeah.
we get here? I don't know. I'm so
Yeah.
exhausted.
Because of
Because
Bitcoin.
money is like fugazi.
It is.
It's nothing. It's energy. It's what
We're
did he
living
do
in a
Wolf
very
of Wall
very small timeline in which money and currency will ever even exist. Like,
Yeah.
it's such a
Yeah.
new concept. Like, the whole Federal Reserve, the fiat, like all of it is so new, and it's not even going to last long enough to matter. Like, no kid goes
Right.
through public education and learns about the tulip bubble or stick notching,
Right.
notches and sticks to keep track of like ledgers, and none of that is covered in school
Yeah.
in any class from
No.
kindergarten to college. They don't cover it unless you go out of your way to learn it. And I feel like a lot of this will get to that point. It's going to be like like really use
But
fiat.
they don't even teach like regular finance.
That's true.
I have a
yeah.
19-year-old son.
It's not even worth
and
teaching. It's not going to be around that long. That's why they don't teach
Well,
it.
that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. But like, I would have rather him like learn about credit scores,
Oh,
something
dude.
like to understand life, right? Like you gotta, like we have to deal with it right now.
You know who's
but they
teaching
don't
me
even
about
teach
my
that.
credit score? Chime. Shout out to Chime. They're making me
Love
use a credit
Chime.
card, like a debit card, and they're social engineering my
Nice.
credit score. They're like guerrilla marketers
Dude,
for my credit
It's
score.
awesome. Chime
Nice.
is amazing.
Yeah, dude. I don't fuck
Amazing.
with banks. I never did, but I needed to get one for some
Nope,
work-related
same.
things, and I got Chime, and I
Yep.
was like, dude, these guys are pretty gangster. They're helping me scam the credit score system.
Yep.
I got a
know what? I
720,
also love
dude.
Cash
I don't
App.
deserve a 720.
Right? Ooh, I love Chime. Yeah, and I love Cash App. Like, no
Oh, yeah,
questions
Cash
asked,
App ones.
nothing. Like, you just put money on it. You can buy Bitcoin.
Oh,
Send
dude,
it
when they
wherever you
went
want.
Bitcoin,
Like,
I was so happy for Cash App when they went Bitcoin. It was
Yeah.
one instance where I was like, okay, culture appropriation in Bitcoin, I'm with it. I'll let you do it. Because a lot of people, the conversation I hear right now, especially during the halvening, is we won. We forced them to adopt Bitcoin. No, it's not a bottom up. It would have been forced if
Yeah.
if your local convenience store, your mom and pop shops, if they got into Bitcoin first and then BlackRock and all this
Right.
micro strategy, yeah, we won. They're
Right.
they're pandering. They're pandering to a
Yeah.
specific audience to siphon our fiat. They just want any direction they can get fiat, they'll accept that direction, and they're pandering. But the narrative right now, especially around the halvening, especially from the top Bitcoin people, is we won the battle and we're going to win the war. The
Right.
war has been, obfuscated, and compromised to a point in which we think we're winning, but we have joined the other team.
Right. Right. Exactly. That's exactly right.
They're
Man, what
pandering.
is
That's
life?
why it's like Amazon accepts Bitcoin. I'm like, I don't care. I
Yeah.
never wanted them to accept it. I want my local pizza store to accept it.
Exactly.
Who the fuck cares about using
Exactly.
Bitcoin on Amazon?
Make that easier. I even I'll onboard. Sorry, I hire a lot of developers overseas, and I have one that I use that I love, and he's in Pakistan. I found him on Fiverr, and now he just kind of does stuff, for me. And I'm like, look, it's really hard to pay you, with wire transfers and all this stuff. So we got him a Bitcoin wallet, and
Nice.
I don't know if can't remember which way he cashes it out, but. And he was just blown away. He's telling all of his friends, this is, I got paid in an instant. Like, that's crazy. Instead of
Yeah.
4 days later
you wanna
from
know
a
what's
US
really
bank
crazy?
to a Pakistani bank.
Western Union or whatever still has relevant advertisements for money transferring around the world. How are they fucking relevant in 2024? How is that?
Still use it.
Is it literally just for time travelers? Is there some money laundering going into this for
I
time
agree.
traveling?
I think so.
This is how
That's
time
for people
travelers
from- it's
launder
people-
their money.
it's-
Yeah.
It's for people who come in from out of the country, like from Mexico.
But that's
and shit
Bitcoin.
like that.
That's crypto. There's Visa. There's PayPal.
No, I
there's
know, but
all
they
this-
don't.
I'm just
Yeah,
blown
but
away
like-
that I'd
like
seen
my
a
dad sends
commercial
money to
for
Mexico,
it. That's
and
all.
he does it through a Mexican Western Union type thing.
Dude,
It's
Western
just-
Union is in Back to the Future. Like,
Yeah.
that's how
It's
literally
cool.
back in the past it is.
But that's how archaic the whole money system is, and that's what it's for. They're so
it's
forceful
Fugazi,
to make people
bro.
do it that way. Like it's on purpose that Western Union still is a thing, and why people have to use it. Like it's not by accident.
Big facts.
You know,
You know, I want to segue.
Intentional.
Right.
Go ahead.
It's not by accident.
Yeah.
I wanted to segue into the value that running a node has in the fact of having the data, having the block backed up, you know, the chain backed up, and having that data. When you look at things like Facebook or Meta and Twitter, X, the metadata from all the users, you know, interacting is very valuable. And I have a feeling that there's going to be a way for AI to, you know, sweep and sniff the blockchain, and if you can run like the full node and have the entire chain like backed up, there's going to be a way to monetize it through, you know, data mining with AI through something, whether it's like wallets airdropping shitcoins to active wallets, or, you know, selling that data to, you know, the government for just, you know, human tracking, whatever the case may be. Though I think there's some value that's going to come out of having, you know, a full node running, that you have the entire blockchain's history backed up. And, you know, even if there's like a court thing where, like, you know, they have to audit the blockchain in court, like, you might be able to submit your part of that into the court system and get paid for it. So I'm just curious, like, have you thought about like the ways that the metadata can be used?
Like anybody can do it. So if that was the case, they would just download it themselves. But yes,
but when it gets to that point, they can't download it to feed it to the machine to read it. That's what I'm saying. Like earlier when I said, like, being able to, it's going to be like the snake eating its tail. I don't think you're ever going to be able to catch up to the neck, though. You might get close, but you're never going to get the full snake eating the tail, because the neck's ever growing, like space itself.
Yeah. The expansion of
I'm like I just lost. I do get what you're saying for sure. I think there's a way to monetize all data. I have a friend that works for Foursquare, and I'm like, that's still a thing? She's like, oh yeah, we moved into data mining, and, you know, all of these companies pay us billions of dollars for the data that we got from years ago. And I'm like, god damn. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely a way to like crawl that data. And but I mean, now we're just inscribing things. I mean, it could be
garbage in, garbage out, bro. We're gonna have garbage in, garbage out in the Bitcoin blockchain. That's actually hilarious.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no.
That's pretty much what's happening. So
that's why I'm laughing. Like, that is exactly what's happening. We're putting garbage in, we're gonna get garbage out, and we're Bitcoin
it's
was
like
so
turning into
smart.
like not money anymore.
And that's I'm here for that, because let's make money irrelevant. Like, the idea, I want to be alive when the word money is the meme.
Right.
Yeah.
I know everybody's against UBI. It's like the biggest talking point. If you want to like have somebody flip the table at Thanksgiving, mention UBI or Trump. But I'm serious. Like, UBI is the key ingredient to making the next step, which is money irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think this technology is game theorying gluttony. You know, it's rewarding good actors, and the way that the dApps and DAOs are being built out without like human intervention, and also if with human intervention, it's at a consensus. The game theory for good acting, it won't take long for the network effect, especially when, you know, you see like when Lambo, when Moon, it's like when, you know, money irrelevant, right? So I think like that's the steps it'll take, is all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like,
and then like that monkey theory where it's like there's so many monkeys that learn something, and once like the X amount of monkeys learn it, then they all just start rapidly like learning the same thing. Like, you know, if they all learn like a new trick, or
dude, you hand a 5-year-old an iPad 10 years from now, there's a chance you look the wrong way, and that 5-year-old isn't on a porn website. They're on a Web3 website minting their own tokens. Like, you worry about your kid wandering to like a porn website with the iPad. You might have to worry about your kid wandering into being the next Satoshi. They may inherently know just by like, oh, this goes here, this goes there. Yeah, and again, then it's like Napster, Metallica. You got your door getting kicked in because your kid's like, you have a fucking 8-year-old with a $300 million market cap because his lizard wears a scarf.
Oh my gosh.
Lizard with scarf.
Yeah. Well, that's how it is with the NFTs too. You know, the NFT artist kids. It's gonna just
Yeah,
gonna
it's gonna
destroy the
be.
system this way.
Yep.
That's how we do it.
And that's the thing, kids that like I didn't really grow up with like digital currency in the sense of like playing a video game and having like coins in the game
Right.
used for in-game assets. I'm in my 30s and it's like I'm still uncomfortable as fuck doing that, but here I am playing with shit coins. And like the kids growing up today, like when you ask them what they want for Christmas, it's not like anything physical. They just want like Fortnite V-Bucks. And
Yep.
that when they turn 18, you know, which is like 20 years from now, they'll all be 20. Like everybody who's alive in 20 years will be 20. They're going to be the ones that are so familiar with this that like it's like currency's always really kind of been a joke for them, like V-Bucks. Like I was
Right.
using V-Bucks instead of like asking for money to go to the mall. Like that, yeah, I was an idiot. Like, yeah, and that mentality will stick into adulthood. They are going to much rather have V-Bucks in their 30s, like crypto meme coins, than fiat in their bank account. They're growing up with the mentality. We had to
True.
adapt to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. My son's a gamer, and like people used to ask when I would like sit on Clubhouse talking about NFTs and assets. They'd be like,
Clubhouse.
"Well, doesn't Broden want to, like get into this?" And he would come out and be like, "Why? I don't
Yep.
care. I have mom's money, right?" And it's dead ass serious.
Yeah.
He's like, "Why? I don't care about this because there's no monetary incentive for me, because why would there be? Like, I just want to get these V-Bucks." Or they would like generate them by winning games or however it works, right? They don't really necessarily care about like the ownership of it, or the flippening.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
flip
Oh, are your
ability.
V-Bucks worth more than your Rocket League tokens? Or are your Rocket League tokens worth more than your V-Bucks? Yeah, the flippening of Rocket
Yeah,
League and
yeah.
Fortnite. That's funny. That is
Right.
definitely in their little world for sure.
It is, yeah. They just they don't care.
You know, we're
yeah.
the ones sitting in the train waiting for those in front of us to finish building the tracks to get us where we want to go. We are
For sure.
taking the beta tester route of, the industry's industrial complex time. We're probably in a good
Yeah.
10 or 20 years of the industrial complex of Bitcoin being built out because it's still not an industry. And I mean, like, I think it technically just entered industry, like, size, but Bitcoin itself is not an industry. All of crypto
Right.
might be able to be considered an industry now, but Bitcoin itself is
Right.
way off from being an industry. So that's why I'm saying like 20
Yeah.
years from now, it'll be atomic swaps. And really, money, who cares what the dollar value is? Because I'm just going to say, send me Bitcoin, you're going to send me Dogecoin. Atomic swaps will take care of it, and I'll get what I got,
Right.
and I'll be happy.
Right. Because everything moves into user friendly. They don't want to know about the underpinnings. They just want it to work. That's how the world works.
Oh, yeah.
So that's exactly right. And then I feel like
Definitely.
the quantum computing stuff is, it's also just going to like run into that same, it'll just kind of like merge together. It's not going to be like one big, huge event, but
Yep. We need customer service, and we need somebody else to worry about.
Bitcoin
things
has
that we
the
don't wanna
worst
worry
customer
about.
service, doesn't it? Like, I can't name a shitcoin with a worse customer service than Bitcoin. I put the challenge out
worst.
there. Like, and the marketing team, it sucks. Unless you're
The
like Michael
worst.
Saylor, apparently the marketing team's for him. Like, it caters to Michael
True.
Saylor. We got Jamie Dimon, but I still didn't get my neighbor or the local pizza store owner or the gardener or
Yeah.
the worst marketing team ever, bro. I'm here for it
facts.
though,
yeah,
man.
that's a good point. Is like,
Yeah.
who is doing this? Like, we're all just,
We are.
like speaking to
That's good.
each other, but like, how are, then people see the Black Rocks and the Michael Saylors, and they're like, well, that's not me, so why
Right.
would I get involved in that?
Yes,
That
that's
guy's just
100%.
accumulating all of this wealth.
That's my big shtick on Bitcoin being compromised. It's now being deterred just by the people in the room. It's like, I was a kid. I
Yep.
grew up in poverty. I know how it feels to grow up knowing I can never be an astronaut. I can never be a doctor. I can never be fill in the fucking blank because we're poor and we didn't have Christmas
Right.
this year. Like and then looking at this space This is why I refuse to dress the part, and I like to dress a little goofy at conferences and make it more fun. Because when I enter the room, even I feel like I don't belong here anymore, and I'm uncomfortable, and I have like imposter syndrome. As like, do I know? None of these suits know what I know. It's just the appearance is so overwhelming, and I've been here since 2015, and so like now looking at the way the kids are going to look at this with Michael Saylor, Jamie Dimon, MicroStrategy, BlackRock, it's Bitcoin is so corny. Nobody growing up is gonna fuck with it because of it's just corny. That's all I can say. Like it's corny as fuck.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like it's changed, and I don't see how to like run it back. You know.
I guess we can wrap it up. Any final questions, bro? I just saw I got the warning. I just got the warning.
Yeah, I
no,
guess just
I'm good with this.
I guess just we'll make a little short one. What about runes, and if they make running nodes a bit more fun, or if they make it like a little bit more difficult?
Wait, what's the question?
Do runes make running a node more fun, or is it kind of like more of a task?
I mean, that just depends on if somebody likes tech, because it's definitely making a lot of people crazy right now. Like not being able to get the thing to download right, and then it's in the wrong location, and they have the wrong hard drive. Like it's making people crazy. So I think it's fun, but it's not for everybody.
So you said it was fun, and I literally was like, yeah, that sounds like a nightmare. So yeah, you're right. It's very independent.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the trading stuff. Right? Like I've been around for how long? Like I've known about Bitcoin for how long, but I never really got into trading because I was so like traumatized by all that. Yeah. So I feel like, hey, I made my money other ways, but like I feel like I really should have been able to like, make millions just trading tokens, or like getting in on like Hex, or I don't know. I just like pulled that out of thin air, right? But like that, I don't know that. I gotta stay in my lane. Right, I don't know trading. I learn it bits and pieces here and there, and I've done a few things. I made some money. I got an airdrop of Jupiter or Jupe, like little things like that. But I'm not going to dive right in because it's scary to me. Yeah. So same thing with this is like people are like, they just want money, so they're like, okay, what do I do? Download this thing, and then it becomes this nightmare, and then they're like. Then they feel bad. Their mental health is affected because they feel like they're not smart enough to do this, and it's just a fucking snowball.
Yeah. Damn, bro. Snowball. That's another meme waiting to happen. We probably launched 3 of them in this podcast alone.
Snowball Fugazi.
Why does that sound like the title of Mickey's sex tape?
There you go. That's actually not a bad. Snowball Fugazi.
Yeah,
it's like
I've been watching too much 80s movies, and like, bro, I'm telling you, I'm tapping into a part in my like comedy like mindset that's been suppressed by the 2000s. Like the 2020s are so boring. I'm literally going to the 80s to watch like TV shows and movies again. So I may be saying shit a little socially unacceptable or inappropriate or whatever, like, but it's like very much Curb Your Enthusiasm is where I'm at right now. Like, fuck everybody, dude.
Sure.
I love the 80s.
And it comes with love. Era. Like, fuck you, but fuck you with love. Like, stop being so sensitive.
Well,
thanks,
appreciate you.
Thanks, everybody. Yeah, appreciate you, Brooke. We hit 136 live viewers here on X, so if you guys are watching, please go ahead and hit the repost button. Any reposts go a long way. If you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook or Twitch or DLive, or we're live everywhere, go ahead and share this out on your socials. But then you can go ahead and delete all of that crap and head on over to X. Just use that and repost us there over on X.
Yep.
Brooke, this has been a very interesting and educational conversation. I really do appreciate your time.
Yeah, you're great.
Thank you. This was as fun as it was informative. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad. I had fun. I didn't know if I would have anything left because I've just been kind of talking about it so much. But there is how many hours left? There's like 20 hours left before the halving. So
Yeah.
There's not enough.
Oh,
So
wow.
get your nodes going.
Yeah, guys. Or get your Bitcoin ready and start throwing darts at the proverbial dart board, and maybe you'll find the Bitcoin
Right.
version of Bored Ape Yacht Club thing.
Could be.
Wait, what are we
We'll
supposed to
see.
Wait till you open the box. All right, guys.
Is the cat dead or alive?
Meow. Have a day.
see y'all later?
Bye. Thank you.
Peace.